First round, Georgia, Boise in Athens. I mean, like, we know how that's going to go. And by the way, like, home teams dominated. Home teams dominated last year. Georgia's going to beat Boise. That's a quick one. Georgia goes on to the quarterfinal, and they're going to play Ohio State. Okay, let's go over to Autzen. Oregon and Michigan. That's going to be an incredible atmosphere. All of us waiting for an atmosphere like that. And Oregon finally gets their home game, which they deserved last year as the number one seed, but they don't get it because our format is dumb and we're going to play neutral site games in the quarterfinals, which has to change. Has to. But Oregon gets their home game. I think that they beat Michigan and they move on. So Oregon is going to go on to face Clemson in the quarterfinals. Then we get to that. I mean, this game, this next one. Aren't we all here for this? Don't you want to see LSU at Notre Dame? I cannot wait for this. This is what I live for in college football when the storylines are rich like this. Like, I can't wait for it. And that place would be on fire. There is zero chance that LSU could go to Notre Dame and win with Brian Kelly on that opposite sideline. Not because of Brian Kelly, but only because of what he means. Like, that, the place would be on fire. And I understand LSU travels. You LSU fans are some of the best fans in the country. You travel everywhere. Trust me, I went to the College World Series once when LSU was in the College World Series in Omaha. All I saw was RVs for days. I just started yelling, "Go Tigers," and I was fed for like a week. It was incredible. So LSU fans, I know you'll travel, but that place will be on fire. So I've got Notre Dame beating LSU and moving on to face Texas in that quarterfinal game. And then that leaves us with what I think is going to be an outstanding game, Alabama and Kansas State. I've got the Tide rolling. This would be the first upset that we've gotten a road team going in the playoff and winning. The first one is going to be Alabama. DeBoer needs it. He needs a win in the college football playoff, I think. So I've got Alabama over Kansas State. Now we go to the quarters. Let's start with that game right there. Penn State and Alabama. Even with some of the momentum, again, like, Penn State needs this. If they lose in the quarterfinals, this is not good. I think that they get over the hump of winning those games against marquee teams like in Oregon earlier in the year. Or, like I said, they're just coming off of a win over Ohio State in this scenario in the Big Ten championship game. So I've got Penn State beating Alabama here. They've got more experience. They were just here. It won't be new for them. Penn State moving on into the semifinals. Texas and Notre Dame would be a heck of a game. A heck of a game. Now, Texas, I love Texas. Their defense is phenomenal. I think it could be one of the best defenses in the country. Arch at that point, let's hope he stays healthy. But at that point, I think he's playing great football. And I just don't think Notre Dame has enough to beat this Texas team. So I've got Texas moving on. They beat the Fighting Irish. Clemson, Oregon should be an absolute phenomenal game. But one team has a very experienced quarterback. The other does not. So I'm going to go with Cade Klubnik and the Clemson Tigers here. I think this is a balanced Clemson team. I think Dabo gets into the semifinal and they would face Texas, and that leaves an unbelievable, monstrous game, Georgia and Ohio State in the quarterfinals. Can we please stop putting these games in neutral sites? All of us, college football fans, I'm on your side. Like, we want to see these on campus. There's no reason, none, why we need to continue to play these in bowl sites. That needs to end. It needs to end like yesterday for the betterment of the game. No one's looking out for the betterment of the game. We're going to do that here on this show. For the love of the game, we need these games in campus environments. Georgia, Ohio State. I can't get my head around Georgia. I think that Ohio State at that point will have their quarterback figured out. I think Patricia will have the defense figured out. I think that they've got the two best players in the sport in Downs and Smith. I think it's a tight game. This is a coin flip game, but I'm going to go with the Buckeyes over the Bulldogs and getting into the semifinal. That leaves Ohio State, Penn State for the third time, and Clemson and Texas. I think these would be amazing games. Amazing games. I don't think Penn State can beat Ohio State twice, like in the matter of, what is that? It would be about 30 days, something along those lines. Maybe a little bit more, 35 days, 36 days from the Big Ten championship game to the national semifinals. You give Ryan Day the opportunity to adjust after a loss like that, he's going to adjust. So I'm going to go with Ohio State over Penn State and getting into the national championship for the second straight year. That would be devastating for Penn State after what happened a year ago. I think they really need to get to the championship game, which we talked about in the defining success episode of the program. And on the other side, this Clemson-Texas game, I think could be an all-time great game where I think we continue to lean into this idea of parity in the sport where we're going to get teams that are very close and matched up, Manning against Klubnik. I'm going to go with the more experienced quarterback here. I think Dabo and Klubnik and that defense and just their overall soundness get the job done, and I think we're going to have an Ohio State-Clemson national championship. Now, I don't think Ohio State's going to win back-to-back national championships. I could see them win these other games in the playoff, but man, you're talking about going back-to-back a year after having 14 players drafted. I don't think that's the case. Meanwhile, you got a team in Clemson that I've got 3 players in my top 10 players overall in college football on their roster. They've got a coach that's done it before. They've got experience at quarterback. They've got a defense that could be one of the better, if not the best in college football, along with Texas. I think Dabo wins his 3rd national championship, proves that there's still a way to win in this era where everyone has been all over him about not adjusting to the new era, and he's going to go out there and win again, which means Dabo Swinney would join Nick Saban as one of the only coaches to win national championships over different cycles of recruits. That's very difficult to do. Normally what you see is national championships won in one targeted, concentrated time frame. Saban blew that out of the water. Everybody that went to Alabama, you get a ring. It was like Oprah with rings. Everyone gets a ring. No one generally does that. It's one of the tougher things to do in the sport. This is what Kirby Smart is going to have to face, and this is what Ryan Day is going to have to face. And now Dabo would be getting another championship, his 3rd, with a totally different cycle of recruits in an era that is totally different than when he won his first 2. So that would be huge. My national champion, the official pick, the Clemson Tigers win the national championship in college football. Thank you for watching the Joel Klatt Show YouTube channel. And if you liked this clip, make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel, and you can stay up to date on all of my college football coverage.